Hey, it's Chris here from Bow River Troutfitters. I want to tie for you one of my favorite flies. It's simple, it's easy, but you also have a lot of versatility. This is the Pine Squirrel Micro Leech. You can tie this on a medium nymph hook like I'm doing here. I can make a little body with a fairly long tail. You could do a streamer hook where you have a longer body with a shorter tail, or even tie it with a caddis or scud hook. Now, Pine Squirrel is a beautiful material and it's about half the thickness of hair as rabbit, so it works much better for these smaller flies. First off, saliva is your friend. Slick down the hair on the squirrel so that you can separate them and tie it in here on the hook in the right spot. I've got a nice long tail, got a nice long front, and I want to go longer than the actual head of the hook because you can always cut it shorter. You can't obviously grow more, okay? So now that we've got that, we're gonna put just a touch of Flashabou. I've just doubled it over. I've wrapped it under the front section of the squirrel, and I'm just gonna tie it in over the exact same spot. Keep your thread wraps right over each other when you're tying here at the tail section. All right, now that we've done that, I'm going to create a dubbing loop. Now there's many variations you could do here. If you cut the squirrel a lot longer, you can just palmer the squirrel all the way up the hook and it creates a really nice thick body. But here I'm gonna put a dubbing loop in. I've made my loop, I'm stretching it out. I'm gonna put, in this case, like an ice dub because it's got a nice bit of flash. It's a very chunky dubbing and it's gonna give us a thick body. So the dubbing does let you play with the color variety. It gives the fly a little bit of flash. I'm using an olive ice dub here. As you can see, I'm putting it in the loop in a very thick pattern. When you wrap it up the fly, it's gonna give us a nice thick body. So there's our dubbing loop wrapping up. You can see we're making a really chunky body, but it works great for these leeches. And we're gonna exaggerate that even more when we tease out a lot of these dubbing fibers at the end of this tie. All right, so clip off my dubbing loop, it's secured in place. This is a super quick fly to tie because now I'm just gonna pull the pine squirrel right over. Again, use some saliva and separate those fibers. You can see that I'm gonna do that right here and then just tie it in right there at the head, right behind the bead. And then what we're gonna do is just noodle on a little bit of ice dub, and this is just gonna cover up right behind that bead. Just gives us a cleaner kind of head. There we go, you can see that there. What's great about these leeches is you can dead drift them and they're effective. You can swing them on a streamer rig. They also make a great second fly behind a bigger streamer if you're allowed to do that in your water. They're so versatile, dead drifted or swung. Chop them down if you feel they're too big. You can make these in many different sizes and colors. And olive leeches, especially here on the Bow River, work great all year round. But feel free to try purple, black, red, whatever you want. There you can see our completed fly. You can easily tie a dozen of these or more in a session. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us know what you think.